What's going on, Team Takeover, YouTube, everybody? Wayne Shotta here with one of my best friends on the vlogging scene, Dibiase. What's up, Dibiase?
What's up, man? How's it going?
Good, yeah. First off, back in the day, you had a little beef with Bloodstained Lane and Team Takeover. We always, behind everything, we're always mad cool. Dibiase, since day one of me doing vlogging, has always been, really supportive of me. And so, for me, this is, a big deal to have. It's a big deal to have anybody on, but especially for Dibiase because, he's a smart dude, And plus now I went from Canada, Australia. I went to Cali, and now I'm in Boston. So, technology is great, But either way, we're going to talk about Strikeforce, Fedor versus Henderson. A crazy, crazy, crazy show. Not the best show Strikeforce has ever done, but it was good for you. If I had this over a UFC show, this show was great. First fight, Tariq Saffiedine versus Scott Smith. Saffiedine, as I predicted, was going to be amazing with the striking. I felt like he was going to be just on point. And Smith has he's definitely a banger, and he's definitely a guy who could come from behind and take a punch and give a punch. The least thing I could say about this was that Saffiedine just kind of outclassed him with striking. What do you think?
Scott Smith, he was just real sloppy in this. He was keeping his hands down. He was eating a lot of head kicks, which I was noticing. But Saffiedine was just moving around. Scott Smith, he's just real stiff. If you notice, he doesn't really move too well. Keeps his head stiff. And Saffiedine was just outclassing him, like you said. And I predicted that as well. I thought Saffiedine was going to run right through this dude. I was kind of disappointed that Saffiedine couldn't finish him, but it's Scott Smith. That guy's hard to put away. You know what I mean? Yeah,
not even that. He seemed flat-footed. He had no movement. Yeah. He just stood there and took shots. I didn't understand it, I don't know.
Game plan. It's like take an ass kicking and then hopefully I'll land a comeback shot, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe I don't understand it. I don't know what Scott Smith thinking. I don't know. They talk about, it takes a very long time for you to adapt to, learning a new style. Smith has got to do something, whether it's new training camp, game plan. I don't even think he's going to be in Strikeforce anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think he's going to get cut, so it is what it is. Nobody's been cut so far.
Fight,
What'd you say?
I like watching him take a beating.
Yeah.
It's fun.
it is fun. And there's people that guys, oh, wow. Big Country is one of those guys where he could take a beating and I'd be entertained. So
I'll still watch him fight wherever he goes. I'm still a fan of the guy, but you got to change things up, man. Don't just get your ass kicked. That's pretty bad that I'm a fan of you for taking a beating,
Yeah. So, kind of clear cut. Nothing surprising here. Saffiedine wins by unanimous decision. No controversy here. Second fight, Paul Daly versus Woodley. What do you think?
I was kind of disappointed that Tyron Woodley couldn't even get a takedown on Paul Daly in the first round. Paul Daly's looking really good with his takedown defense. He's definitely getting a skill shot. And, it was kind of disappointing because all Woodley was doing was just trying to grind him out. He wasn't trying to engage really. He'd throw a few punches. He was working some shots up against the cage, landing a few knees to the body, landing some good punches to the body, but nothing really exciting. It was just a boring-ass fight. What's to say about it? Tyron Woodley just bored the hell out of that fight, basically.
Well, am I the only one that thought maybe this fight could have gone to Daly?
Maybe it could have because he defended a lot of the takedowns, and Woodley didn't do much on the ground. And standing, I guess I would give it to Daly, but in the third round, Daly, I think, may have got the third round, but I don't know. I wouldn't have given it to Daly. He didn't do enough to win it, Woodley got the takedowns. The way they judge MMA, I guess I would give it to Woodley.
Yeah, it seems like it always gives advantage to the wrestlers. If you could get one takedown out of 5, they count that more than the other 4 that were stuffed. What did surprise me was that Daly was able to stuff him. That was big. Yeah, that was big for me. The fact that Daly looked like he actually is working on his wrestling and takedown defense.
Woodley didn't even get one takedown the whole first round, I don't believe. So
yeah,
impressive on Daly's behalf.
Yeah, Daly did good. Definitely not Daly could still compete, and it seems as if he could beat anybody except a really, really strong wrestler. So
yeah, I thought he was going to be pissed after that fight, but he actually got up and hugged Tyron Woodley. I was expecting maybe a cost check cheap shot, but none of that.
Nah, he's maturing. So I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
if I think we're gonna see Woodley fight Kennedy, and Kennedy's the next fight. I mean, is there anything else you want to add? There's nothing much to talk about. I really don't care to see Woodley fight again. I think he's like the Strikeforce version of John Fitch, except that he's black. You know, like what is that? Like what is it?
He doesn't want to get any blemishes on his record, so he's going to be really careful. I mean, you can't really blame the guy who wants to bang it out with Paul Daly.
Yeah,
especially when you're only 9-0 or 8-0 or whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, the only interesting thing I thought about the fight was the fact that his mother was praising Jesus at the end. Did you catch that?
Yeah, that was hilarious. They kept clipping over the head. That was making me laugh my ass off.
Dude, I was dying. She caught the Holy Ghost at the end of that fight. He caught the Holy Ghost.
He started thanking his mother and his God, too. Yeah, she had dying.
Yeah, like God really wants him to beat somebody up, right? Like, but either way.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Third fight of the night, Robbie Lawler versus...
I think they're going to put Woodley up against Saffiedine, maybe. I'd like to see that rematch.
Yeah.
I really want to see Saffiedine pick up, get his revenge, because, Woodley did the same thing to him that he did to Daly, just tried to grind him out. And, Saffiedine's getting better at his takedown defense, and hopefully they'll rematch those two in the future.
Yeah, it should be an interesting fight. It should make for a very interesting fight, So, yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I think I even mentioned... I think I said Kennedy by accident, but I meant Saffiedine. Third fight, Robbie Lawler versus Tim Kennedy. Kennedy's got a way about grabbing guys and taking them down, man. The guy's like, I don't know, he's got sticky fingers or something, man. He was just crowding Lawler. Did you notice that? Like,
that was crazy. Yeah, he was like chasing Lawler down, like going after his legs and stuff. But Lawler was impressing me with his scrambling ability. But I'm really disappointed in Robbie Lawler because the third round he just stood there, did not let his fucking hands go for like 3 minutes. I was counting. I was like, what is this guy doing? Go with him. Do something to win the fight. Kennedy ain't doing nothing except trying to take you down, and you're just standing there watching at him. You lost this fight because you ain't willing to engage. You don't want to fight. I don't know what he was doing. If he didn't have a gas tank or if he was just worried about getting taken down or what. Like, I was just screaming at my TV, like, Robbie Lawler, what are you doing right now? The guy's one of my favorite middleweights to watch fight and wasn't performing.
Yeah, but when he did throw his hands, he landed. I mean, he busted up.
I know, but the third round, he just froze, it seemed, and I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I think towards the end of the fight, he was nailing them, but still, that didn't even, I don't know, man. I hate the fact that we don't have knees in MMA,
Yeah, true.
The sport is really starting to turn into a lot of, like, advantages towards wrestlers. I just really don't think that with knees, though, I'd take knees over the elbows. Elbows give flash cuts. Knees at least will stop and prevent some of these hugging and this takedowns, these constant takedowns for nothing, man. But I don't know. Is there anything else?
There should be knees and elbows, in my opinion, because you can't take elbows away because Bones Jones breaking Brennan Bear's orbital bone,
Yeah.
So you need the elbows in the game.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. Nothing really else to say about that fight. I mean, not taking nothing away from Tim Kennedy. The kid's impressive. I mean, he's good. I don't even believe he's ever been finished. Like, he's never been submitted and knocked out. All his losses are decisions, I'm pretty sure. So, he's definitely good. He can take a punch because Robbie Lawler was banging him up. I mean, nothing really too clean, but you're still taking some lumps.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 fights, really not something that 5 years from now people are going to be like, oh, yeah, this fight. Do you remember this fight? I mean, it's...
No, definitely not.
It is what it is. Fourth fight is Marlus Conan versus Miesha Tate. This came as a shock to me.
I know, me too. Really.
Conan won the first 2 rounds, in my opinion. And it looked like she was going to start cruising throughout this fight. The crowd was obviously behind Tate, I guess, mainly because she's American and she's hot, so, like, people are going to root for Miesha Tate.
Yeah.
Going into this, I thought Tate was going to have to fight a very safe fight, kind of avoid being submitted or making any types of mistakes, and she managed to do that. She actually
crossed into the ring and just basically took her down too. She didn't really care about getting submitted. Really, she didn't seem to bother her at all.
No, she came in prepared, and I mean, both girls really, really. I mean, it's a very impressive fight. I could definitely see these girls fighting again. Tate wins by, I believe it's what was the submission? I forget.
It was an arm triangle.
Arm triangle. So I mean, I don't write anything down anyway. Yeah, I mean, it came as a shock to me. I thought Conan was going to be able to. At one point, she was trying to kick off the cage, and it seemed like Tate just was stronger and held her down, held her own. I mean, congratulations to Miesha Tate. I'm sure Strikeforce is going to have a lot of, the casual fans watch more to see her fight. Maybe more than Gina Carano, who knows? Because this girl could fight. She could fight. And she holds her own. I mean, is there anything else to say? I mean, I keep on saying that, but...
I mean, I'm interested to see the rematch with her and Sarah Kaufman because I believe it went to a decision. I can't really remember that fight. I can't remember who was really getting the better of it, but I know Sarah Kaufman won. But, yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see the rematch. I mean, looking forward to that. To be honest, though, I couldn't wait for this fucking fight to get over because I just wanted to see Dan Henderson and Fedor throw down. Like, half falling asleep. I was like, come on, let's go. Let's do this. Somebody win, please.
Yeah, and that leads us to our main event, and that's Dan Henderson versus Fedor Emelianenko.
Loved it.
This is a crazy fight. Number one, Fedor came out swinging. Both guys came guns a-blazing.
Both did, yeah. Guns blazing. They didn't give a fuck. They threw caution to the wind. They were like, let's put on a show. This is what everyone expected. We're two legends. Let's do this thing. They just went right at it, and I loved it. Awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean...
I actually filmed my reaction live, so...
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, both guys throwing fists. In the beginning, Fedor looked like he got rocked, and Hender looked like he got rocked, and Fedor looked like he got rocked, and Hender looked like he got rocked. The first round, Fedor hits Hendo. Hendo starts to back up. Fedor starts to lunge at him, a la like Verdum, trying to just end the fight. I give much credit to him for doing that. It seemed as if Henderson, I don't know how he did it. In the middle of him getting up, threw an uppercut underneath Fedor's arm. He dropped. And now this is where it gets interesting. This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me what you saw.
I saw Fedor go out, is what I saw. I was like, oh my god, Fedor is out. He did the Vanderlei face plant is what he did. He was out on his face. He took 2 more punches to the back of the head. As Herb Dean was breaking him up, he sort of rolled over and was waking up. But Hendo was still pounding him out. And then, as you can see, Hendo gets up and screams. And then Fedor does the Undertaker rise up, and he doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. You can see it in his eyes, man. He's glazed over. He's like, what just happened? I'm not out. I'm not out. He was out, man. I fucking rewound that thing like 20 times, dude. He was out, in my opinion. And people are trying to send me links like, watch it. I'm like, I don't gotta watch it on the computer, bro. I already watched it. I have a DVR on my fucking TV. And I watched it 20 times. He was out, man. I'm a huge Fedor fan, huge Hendo fan. But I gotta give it to Hendo, man. He knocked Fedor out. That was a beautiful punch from underneath the armpit, and Fedor just didn't see it coming. It just clipped him perfectly on the chin. And I'll give it to Fedor. That Russian fuck woke up, like, within 2 seconds, but he was out. Herb Dean had to stop it, dude. You see a guy face down getting punched in the side of his head, you gotta step in. He just woke up as it was getting separated, in my opinion. People have been coming at me all day saying, oh, but whatever, man. It is what it is. Even your boy Kumar thinks that it should have been stopped, so...
Yeah, but here it is. I'm going to be one of those people that tell you it should not have been stopped. I'll tell you why.
I know.
No, I'll tell you why.
I did my rant. I'll be quiet.
No, you don't have to go. No. This is why I love to do these side-by-side vlogs, because I can actually talk. And most of the time when I do these vlogs, everybody agrees with me, and then finally got somebody that doesn't. But here's the thing.
Not this time.
It seemed as if he got hit. Definitely he was out for a split second. He got hit in the back of the head twice. In my opinion, if you look at that...
Head too. It looked like he went over to hit him in the side of the head, too. Like, Hendo worked twice to the right side, then went to the left side and looked.
Dude, and
I started waking up.
And I see this, and I look in the camera, and I tell you that in my heart, and I am not a Fedor nut hugger. I could watch Fedor. I appreciate what he does. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan. I can tell you that the fight was stopped too soon. I don't know necessarily yes or no. I can never tell if it was a right stoppage as far as like whether he was out or not. He definitely was flat. Yeah. He had a flash. He was out for a second. Those 2 knocks to the back of the head, they definitely woke him up. It seemed as if he spun around quickly and was looking to get into guard and pull Hendo into guard. I definitely, with the bottom of my heart, I tell you this, I do not think this fight should have been stopped at that point. Do you know how many seconds was left? I think it was like 10 seconds left. Am I correct in the round, or is it more than that?
I think it was like 54 seconds, maybe. I don't even know. I think it was the last minute, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how many seconds were left, no.
I have constantly said this many a times. on Twitter, on vlogs, I would be a horrible ref, mainly because
I know, I heard you say that.
I think that a fighter goes into each fight knowing full well when I walk into that cages or in that ring, there's a possibility that I could get some type of injury that could permanently, career-ending injury. I think it could possibly ruin my career and my life. When it comes down to it, you got to give some certain people the benefit of the doubt. It's one thing if it's Safadine and Smith, and Smith has taken a lot of punishment. You see Smith getting rocked. The main event, you got to kind of let it go. A lot of people saying, well, Brock and Carwin and Brock in this one.
Brock was never unconscious, first of all.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Landed,
but the same type of leeway you give Brock, I think you have to give to Fedor. And I don't want to use Brock as an example.
Well, that's a horrible example because Brock was not unconscious. He was still kicking and moving every fucking aspect.
Right.
Like Fedor was out, dude. He was on his face getting punched.
But all right, well we can't use Congo. We can't use Congo. Congo was out for a split second, and Congo won.
He's like still moving, scrambling. He wasn't face down, getting punched in the back of his head.
Here's the difference between that. Herb Dean stepped in. Fedor didn't get that opportunity. It's in my opinion, he didn't get that opportunity.
He didn't look like he was going to pull guard. He looked like he was like, where the fuck am I?
No, listen. I don't know if maybe one or two more shots would have did him in, but the fact that there's an if, that there's a question mark to this, is a travesty.
There's no if in my eyes, man. I think he was clearly out. I still want to see Fedor fight again. There's no shame in getting knocked out by Dan Henderson. The guy's got rocks for hands. He's got a chin that's fucking granite. So you lost to Henderson. You guys went out there and fucking threw caution to win. And I think Henderson's more of a technical, better puncher. Fedor kind of throws those looping punches. He kind of leaves his hands down. I mean, it didn't cost him this fight because this was just a weird scramble, and he ended up getting hit from under the armpit. I don't think he just didn't see it coming.
I don't even know if Fedor came in with a game plan. It seems as if I don't know if that was his way of probably trying to gas Hendo. Or just trying to have an exciting fight. I don't know what Fedor was thinking. Not that I mean, listen, the guy's got a granite chin. He hasn't been knocked out yet, and he's taken some kicks and punches from beasts of men, Crow Cop and all these other guys. So who am I to question his chin? And going into it, I thought it was only a matter of time before Fedor knocks the guy out. I was just hoping that I always take precision and speed over power. Knockout power.
What I thought was going to happen? I thought, when Fedor knocked Henderson down, I thought he was going to jump on him and try to throw a rear naked choke because that's how I actually predicted Fedor to win. I thought he was going to rock him, knock him down at some point, and jump on him and sink in a submission, but for some reason didn't. He just kept on trying to pound him out, and then Henderson scrambled and then punched him from under the armpit.
Yeah, so I really man, I mean, we could argue all night about that stoppage. Obviously, I think that Dean stepped in too soon, and I think I would love to see a rematch. You think differently?
What I've actually read today that Herb Dean might have missed a tap from Bobby Green against Jay-Z Cavalcante because they didn't hear that fight, and I didn't see it, but I read that somewhere that Herb Dean actually missed that call, and the Fedor controversy is actually overshadowing that incident. So
yeah, I read that as well on MMAfighting.com. That they had that issue. Seems like a bad night for Herb Dean. And Herb Dean's, let's not give away. All right, I'm going to say this. Henderson's the greatest American fighter we've ever seen in MMA. I can say that. Hands down. The guy should be just as revered as Fedor, in my opinion. Okay? Yep. I mean, the guy is an amazing fighter, human being, blah, blah, blah. Nothing taken away from Henderson. I love Henderson. I think it was a great win. The fact that he stepped up to Fedor, I would never have done it. I wouldn't have done it. I'll be honest with you.
What did Fedor have on, like 20 pounds?
Yeah, something like 20 pounds on him. So I mean, it is what it is. We could argue this all night, and I'm sure. What do you now? The question comes down to. Well, we're not sure if Fedor is going to retire or not. Do you think Fedor should stay in the heavyweight division? What do you think Fedor should do now? What do you think his next step is?
What I think they're going to do is I think they're going to offer Fedor a rematch with Verdum because he's already said interested and he wants to fight Verdum in a rematch, and Verdum just lost over him, so he's out of the tournament. So they can set up that if they wanted to.
Is that? Do you want to see him at 205 now? I mean,
I would like to see him at 205, but I don't think he's going to want to make that cut. I just don't think he's obviously dedicated to MMA. Like the guy's a fucking sicko who's been fighting his whole life. I'm not questioning his dedication. I just don't know if he wants to cut down to 205. You know, he might have to change his diet. And you know, the guy likes to drink a lot, probably over there in Russia. I don't know if that puts on any pounds on hot alcohol. It probably doesn't. But who the fuck knows what he's eating over there, what his diet is? Who knows? You know. If you want to cut down the weight, he's not going to get on the Dolce diet and nothing like that. You know, I can't picture Fedor doing that shit.
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared for Fedor a little bit. I tell you why. His legacy is starting to tarnish a little. I mean,
3 in a row.
Yeah, that's rough to think about. I think about
lost every way you can lose possible in these last 3 fights. You got submitted, TKO, and then like knockout basically.
Yeah, so it's kind of getting a little rough now. I don't want to see him against any elite heavyweight now.
No.
I don't want to see him against Reem, you know, or somebody like that because I don't even want to see him against, you know, I don't know, Cain Velasquez, because these guys, you know what it is the sport is evolving, and these big guys are no longer just big guys. They're skilled big guys. So they're
freaks.
Yeah, they're freaks. And so these guys are just multifaceted. They're capable of learning different styles. They're definitely more athletic, more experienced. And you know, I don't want to see Fedor knocked out constantly.
No.
You know.
You want to see him take the crow crop route.
Yeah, and Arlovsky, man, those two guys, when they get knocked down, man, it's scary. Dude, I've never seen Arlovsky's eyes go bug out, and then, you know, you see him go down. It's scary.
But see, Fedor was a different breed because he got knocked out by Hendo and he woke right the fuck back up. Like, Arlovsky and Krokop, when they get knocked out, they take like 10 minutes to get the fuck back up. Those dudes are probably done. They should hang up. Fedor, he's a different breed.
Yeah, so, you know, I want to see Fedor fight. I've said it last time he fought. If his heart is not into it, I don't want to see him fight again. I don't want to see him just go through the motions.
That fight was stopped early, so he'll definitely be back. I don't question that. Yeah. He's not going to leave and retire on a fight with controversy. No,
yeah, and another thing that kind of, in my opinion, and you know, solidified was the fact that he didn't think that the fight was ended properly, you know, and the guys, you know, he's a really, really religious guy. I've been around him where he's actually around Father Andre, you know, where he's walking around with his chain, his wooden cross. So the fact that he obviously has to tell the truth, or he has some type of religious thing, you know.
All that religious shit don't mean shit when you just get your brain scrambled up. You don't know what the fuck just happened. He's like, I was up. All he did is wake up and see himself grabbing a Hendo. He was like, I don't remember falling on my face, you know?
Man, we could argue this all night. we could argue this all night, man. Henderson, what do you want to see happen with Dan Henderson? I mean, the guy looks like he's Captain America, man. 41 years old, knocking dudes out, and not even knocking dudes out. He's knocking out like the best in the world.
He would murder Randy Couture. He would fucking kill Randy if they ever fought.
Yeah, I mean, do you think he's going to the UFC? You think he's going to stay with Strikeforce? He's definitely not going to get the same amount of money Strikeforce gave him again, you know? What do you think?
I don't think they're interested in taking him to the UFC right now. No, I don't think Dan Henderson really likes Dana White, even though he says he doesn't have a problem with Dana and they're still friends. Deep down, I don't think he really likes Dana White at all, the way he does business. And it seems like he's got a good deal with Strikeforce because everybody rocks Klitschko over there. They always got it on the mats and shit, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. He seems like he wants to still defend the Strikeforce title, but I'd like to see him throw down the UFC because I think he is a potential threat to John Jones. I'd like to see that fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't look. I don't even know what it looks like is going to happen with Henderson. The honorable thing to do is to actually defend the title.
Yeah.
And I could honestly see Hendo doing that. If Hendo goes in, he's going to have to, climb up the ranks again. I don't know if he's necessarily willing to do that when he's already on top. I mean, I don't even.
I don't want to see him fight at Strikeforce, like Mike Kyle, Musasi. You know, there's a couple guys he can fight.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more. There's a lot of competition there. I mean, the bulk of the competition's in the UFC. But you know, Henderson's amazing fighter. There's nothing he has left to prove. If he retires tomorrow, it's all good. I don't think he seems like he's going to retire. I don't know if anybody asked him that. He said like he was willing to fight Fedor again. You know, I mean, there's nothing more to say. Strikeforce was amazing. The ending, that one fight, man, is going to be talked about for a very long time. It's going to be debated. The whole team takeover forum went into a whole big. People are fighting each other. There was a civil war on your MMA Topics page. There was like, man, there was people fighting over there too.
People going crazy.
Yeah.
I just chalked it up to saying it was a great fight and a legendary fight between two fighters, but Dan Henderson pulled it off, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, he pulled it off.
Stoppage, justified, all good. Yeah, I think people coming at me all day, like, and then some dude was trying to fucking question, he's like, you haven't been watching MMA long enough to be able to make that decision. I'm like, dude, it's just my fucking opinion. Like, tell it to her being there. Tell him he hasn't been watching MMA long enough to make that fucking decision. He stopped the fight, you asshole.
Yeah, there's no black and white answer to this. There's definitely a gray answer. It looks like, you know, you either feel one way or the other, obviously, but you know, we'll never know.
You don't put fuel on the fire by saying it wasn't out, because I don't even. A lot of people weren't going to probably argue that until he fucking said something. You probably thought he was out until he said something. Until he was like, I wasn't out. You were like, yeah, Fedor just lost. Like, maybe he was still defending.
No, well, here's the thing. When I saw him drop, I said, "Oh my God!" But then I saw him turn around. I'm like, "Whoa!" Dean was just right there. And there's nothing wrong with being a referee being hands on. But man, I just thought it was too early. 5 more, dude. 5 more seconds. 5 more seconds. That's all I wanted to see him go happen. I know a lot can happen.
Probably 5 more seconds.
Dude, I understand. One more blow could end his life. I'm aware of that. But 5 more seconds. You got to give him 5 more seconds.
He's a Russian fuck. I agree with you. He could probably eat like 10 more of those punches and keep waking back up every second. But he would go out probably, you know what I mean? It's just hard to knock a guy like that out. And he's never going to turn him up and like start taking punches like a bitch.
No.
These other guys do. So,
no.
I don't know, man. You know, it sucks that there's controversy. Hopefully they maybe rematch again. Who cares? I would love to see them go.
Dude, it'd be an amazing fight again. And I know that. You know, I don't know if the first fight or the second fight would have as much fireworks as the first. Both guys lived up to the super fight hype. You could definitely say that. You know, there's no.
Henderson kicked Fedor's ass either. Fedor was fucking throwing punches and rocking Hendo too. You never see Hendo really going down for punches.
No, man.
He knocked Hendo down with an uppercut and then followed up with a hook. So he definitely was putting a beating on Hendo for a little bit.
Yeah, but man, that's.
I think Hendo was trying to work Fedor up against the cage though for like 2 minutes. You notice that? That was pissing me off. I was like, let's go, let's do this. What's he doing?
Just an amazing night of fight. That fight, man. That might be fight of the year. That might be fight of the century, man. I mean, man, for sure, Fedor is never going to be in the UFC, especially after Dana White was talking about him on Twitter.
He's an asshole.
Yeah. There's no need for that, man. You don't need to kick somebody down. You know. Yeah, Fedor's like the woman that got away to Dana. You know, Dana's one of those type of guys. I want him, and I want him. You know, and he'll never rest again. And Fedor was the first person to go, well, I don't care what anybody says. I do what my management says. And you know, at times, I definitely criticize the management all the time. You know, just a little thing. When I was speaking to Overeem in the city last year, Overeem said the same thing. You know, he goes. You know, because Overeem wanted to fight Fedor, and for a while they were talking, and Overeem was like, he said, let me talk to Fedor, and the management says, well, you know, Fedor doesn't talk to anybody. We deal with him. He's like, what is he, stupid? Was Fedor not had taken too many blows? Does he have brain damage? What do you mean he doesn't talk? I want to talk to Fedor, and of course he never got to talk to Fedor. You know, and then he said previously to the Giant Silva fight. Overeem was telling me, he's like, you know, you get a look from Fedor when you walk by him on fight night. And Fedor didn't have that look when he fought Verdun. I don't know if he had that look when he fought Bigfoot I think he definitely had that look when he fought Hendo, because it definitely looked like he was in shape and ready to go. I don't know if there was necessarily a game plan for this. It is what it is. Who the hell knows what's going on? You know, every time we fight, Fedor fights, we say, you know, retire, don't retire. I just want him to be happy. I don't want to see him go against, and maybe it's better that he doesn't retire because because Henderson, losing to Henderson is, I mean, it's an honor. You know, I mean, I don't want to say, you know, like that's nothing to be ashamed about. The guy is the best American fighter of all time. There's nothing more to say. Dibiase, you have anything you want to plug before we end this?
Yeah, just check out my website, MMAtopics.net, and check me out on Twitter at DibiaseGDP.
Yeah, definitely. His radio show, I think it's every Friday and Sunday, if I'm correct. Definitely.
Used to be on Sunday, just Friday nights now.
Friday nights, definitely something to listen to. He has his Bloodstained Lane interview. He did this weekend, and he does it with, I believe, Dukes, right? Dukes, right? Yeah, so I mean, check out Dibiase's vlogs. I always have a link for Dibiase's vlogs on my page, so you can check him out. He's definitely a friend and definitely somebody I highly respect. Thank you so much, man. This meant a lot to me. This meant a lot to me, Dibiase.
Thanks for staying loyal to me, even when me and Bloodstained Lane were going through our shit. All the team takeover motherfuckers were coming in.
Yeah,
you stayed loyal.
Yeah, blame that on King JB, man. Blame that on that. Yeah, listen, we could do another vlog. We could do another vlog on King JB, you know, because I mean, I've never met somebody that name dropped more in my life. You know, like he took this vlogging thing and this MMA stuff to like this pro wrestling type of thing. But you know, we ain't gonna make this vlog about King JB. Listen, TeamTakeover.tv, talk on the forum post. Let me know what you guys thought about this vlog. I definitely want to have you more on this vlog, so maybe, you know, in the future, I like to give everybody a little turn so everybody sees different people talk. So, but I definitely will have you on again. And, you know, peace. Thank you for watching. 32 minutes. This was a lot of fun, man.
Definitely, man. We'll be back on sometime soon.
All right, peace. Peace, everybody. War Fedor, War Hendo. See you later. Later.